Sunday morning breakfast. I was still frying eggs shaped like rabbits for my daughter when my husband announced in front of her that he wanted a divorce and slapped down an ultrasound showing his mistress was pregnant. My mother-in-law pointed at me. "You're not good enough. They took our property, our child, my identity. They forced me out of the house with nothing but a $600 settlement fee. Everyone assumed I'd kneel and sign, accepting my fate, but what they didn't know was that from that day on, I began gathering evidence, hiring a lawyer, tracing assets, and bringing each of their worst scandals to court." 7:30 a.m. Sunday. I tied on my faded plaid apron, frying small rabbit-shaped eggs, my daughter Ava's favorite. The skillet sizzled, and the smell of bacon filled the kitchen. This was our unwavering family breakfast ritual for 7 years. Jason insisted it was essential to keep the family warm. Ava sat in her high chair, kicking her legs and singing the new songs from preschool. The sunlight turned her soft hair into gold. Jason walked into the dining room, holding a tablet. Today, he wore the blue shirt I had just ironed last week. "Sit," he said, voice flat. I plated the eggs, wiped my hands, and smiled at him. "Want to try my new salad dressing today?" He didn't look at me, just swiped on his tablet. "Emily," he finally said, lifting his eyes as if reading a document. "We're getting a divorce." Time froze for 3 seconds. I thought I'd misheard. I forced a smile. "What? Divorce?" he repeated, each word like shards of ice. "I found someone more suitable." He slid a piece of paper across the table. It was an obstetric ultrasound. The edges were worn. Patient, Lily Smith, gestational age, 12 weeks, single live fetus. At the bottom, handwritten, "Jason, our son is healthy." My hands started trembling. I knocked over the milk cup. White liquid spread across the tablecloth, soaking the sleeves of my pajamas. "She's having a son," my mother-in-law Margaret said from the kitchen doorway, holding a coffee pot like she'd been waiting there. "Jason needs an heir, you know that. After Ava, you couldn't have another, right?" Ava stopped singing, asking quietly, "Grandma, what's divorce?" Margaret walked over and stroked her head. "It means Mommy and Daddy won't live together anymore." "Why not?" "Because Mommy isn't good enough." 1,000 bees seemed to buzz in my ears. Jason pushed over a stack of documents. "Family assets are basically none of your concern," he said evenly. "Clearly rehearsed. The house was purchased in full before marriage. In my name. 3 joint accounts were consolidated last week." "Don't look at me like that. It's legal marital asset management. Your personal account balance. I think there's 3,400 left." Margaret poured coffee and added, 7 years without working. Living off my son. You want what? Those designer bags, makeup? Don't forget, Jason paid for all of it. I didn't. My voice stuck in my throat. I never bought a designer bag. "Oh right, you're too frugal." Jason smiled, a strange, distant smile. "So you're even less entitled to the assets." "Emily, face reality. You can't survive without me." He pulled out the final paper. "Sign, $600 per month child support, tuition and medical expenses separate. Conditions: 1. No lawyer. 2. Don't tell anyone why we're divorcing. 3. Move out within a week and leave all non-personal items behind. Clothes you can take, but jewelry, bags, any gifts I gave you must stay." He placed a pen in front of me. "Be dignified. It's better for both of us," he said. "Make a scene and you won't even get the 600. Ava began crying. Reaching for me, Margaret scooped her up. "Sweetie, Grandma will take you upstairs to change into a pretty dress. Aunt Lily is coming for lunch today." They went upstairs. I was left alone with Jason. He put away the tablet, adjusted his cuffs, moving as gracefully as if he'd just finished a business meeting. "Oh, by the way," he said at the door, glancing back, "Lily moves in tonight, so you'd better pack your stuff this afternoon. I'll give you the guest room until tomorrow noon," and he left. I sat there staring at the cold eggs, spilled milk, the divorce papers, and the glaring ultrasound. I reached into my pocket and found the handmade cookie Ava had slipped me last night, wrapped in colorful paper. "Mommy, eat it for breakfast," she had said. I unwrapped it and put it in my mouth. Sweet, bitterly sweet. Then I started cleaning the table, stacking plates, washing cups, removing the tablecloth, wiping the surface, every movement slow, deliberate. I paused at the ultrasound. I folded it into a small square and tucked it into my apron pocket. The screaming, shaking, collapsing voice inside me went silent. A cold, clear thought rose. So that's how it is. 3 days later, I was living in a budget motel. I used the last $3,400 to pay for a week. Ava had been taken by Jason, with the excuse that mom needs to calm down. I sent him a dozen messages every day asking about her. He only replied, "She's fine." On the fourth morning, the doorbell rang. A man in a suit, in his 40s, carrying a leather briefcase, stood outside. "Mrs. Emily, I'm Attorney James, representing Mr. Jason." He stepped in, glanced at my tiny room, and frowned. "This is the official divorce agreement," he said, placing a folder on the small round table. "Please review. If there are no issues, sign today, and the procedures can begin tomorrow." I opened it. Clause 1. Within 24 hours of signing, the wife must vacate the current residence hotel and cannot return under any circumstances. Clause 2. The wife may only take personal clothing, toiletries, and ID. All other items including jewelry, watches, bags, electronics, collectibles are the husband's pre-marriage property or gifts and must remain. Clause 3. Custody of Ava goes to the husband. The wife has visitation every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. By prior written request approved by the husband, the location is determined by the husband. Clause 4. Violation of any term, revealing details to a third party or pursuing legal action voids the agreement. The husband may cancel all financial support. My fingers dug into my palms as I read this. I looked up. "This is too much. Ava is my daughter." "Mrs. Emily," the lawyer interrupted calmly, as if explaining that 1 + 1 = 2. "Legally, you currently have no stable income, no home, no assets. Mr. Jason is a corporate executive with an annual income over $200,000 and can provide the best environment for the child. You understand how a judge would rule, right?" The door knocked again. This time, someone swiped themselves in. Lily. She wore an off-white cashmere dress, her belly slightly rounded, carrying the Hermes bag I had seen countless times, the one Jason said was too expensive last anniversary. "Emily," she said softly, apologetically, "I really didn't want this." She walked to the lawyer, who immediately stood to let her sit. "But the child needs a complete family," she said, holding her belly, eyes red. "My baby shouldn't grow up without a father. You're a mother. You should understand, right?" I understood. I understood what it meant to be usurped. "Sign it." Another voice called from the doorway. Jason walked in, naturally draping an arm around Lily. He looked at me like I was a piece of old furniture to be dealt with. "Dragging this out won't help you," he said. "Sign by Monday, or I'll file for a forced divorce. You won't even keep 4 hours of weekly visitation." Margaret appeared too, standing in the doorway, careful not to dirty her shoes. "Sign and go," she shrieked. "Lily needs a quiet environment. You're in the way, surrounded." I picked up the pen, hand shaking, the tip hovering over the signature line. A drop of ink fell and blurred into a small black dot. I pulled back. "I want to see Ava," I said. "Now, if I can't see her, I won't sign anything." Jason's eyes darkened. "Are you threatening me?" "I'm making a demand," I said, my voice steady. "I'm her mother. I haven't seen or heard her in 3 days. I at least need to know she's safe." He stared at me for 10 seconds, then took out his phone and started a video call. The screen lit up. Ava sat on our couch, hugging a new Barbie, her eyes puffy and red. "Mom," she whispered, "my baby." My throat tightened. "Are you okay?" Grandma said. She sobbed. "Mommy said she doesn't want me. Mommy is moving away." "No." I leaped up, frantic. "Mommy will always want you. Mommy just..." The video cut off. Jason took back the phone. "See, she's fine. Sign." I sat down again, staring at the ink blot. "I'll sign," I said, "but with one condition. At least one video call with Ava every week, minimum 10 minutes each, otherwise, the agreement is void." The lawyer looked at Jason. Jason sneered. "Fine, add it." I signed. Every stroke felt like cutting my own flesh. The lawyer filed the papers. Jason left with Lily. Margaret glared at me one last time, slamming the door behind her. The room was silent. I sat on the bed, opened my banking app. Balance, $18.50. The credit card notification popped up. "Your card has been suspended." I ran to the parking lot. The Toyota we bought after marriage, in Jason's name. I put the key in the ignition. It wouldn't turn. The dashboard read, "Key not recognized." My phone vibrated. Jason's text. "I took the car. You don't need it. Don't complicate things, you won't win." I gripped the steering wheel, forehead resting on it. The air vent still held a clay doll Ava had made. Smiling happily, rain started falling. Each raindrop hit the windshield like tiny slaps. That night, Clutching pajamas I had stolen from Ava's wardrobe still smelling of her milk, I lay awake in the motel bed until dawn. For the first time, I realized a person could be stripped down to nothing but the right to breathe in a single night. On the seventh day, the motel demanded I renew my stay. Dragging my suitcase through the streets, I finally found a partitioned room in a rundown urban village, renting for $80 a month, 10 square meters, just a bed and a wardrobe, with a shared bathroom at the end of the hall. Once settled, I opened my map app and searched for legal aid center. The nearest one was 15 kilometers away. I took 4 buses and walked 2 kilometers before finally reaching the old office building at 3 p.m. A line of 23 people waited before me when it was my turn. A young female lawyer named Anna greeted me, ponytail, black-rimmed glasses, papers piled high in front of her. "I understand the situation," she said as I finished my story, scribbling on a sticky note. "He said if you hire a lawyer, he won't even pay the $600 monthly child support." "Yes. He's afraid of you going to court." I froze. "What? If he was really guaranteed to win, he wouldn't threaten you. He's afraid of legal procedures. That means you're not without leverage." "But I have no money, no job, no house." "You have a marriage," Anna interrupted. 7 years. You were a full-time homemaker, which counts as an irreplaceable contribution. The law recognizes this." She took a blank sheet of paper now. "Think, during these 7 years, has Jason exhibited any unusual financial behavior?" I closed my eyes, memories flooded back. "In the 2nd year of marriage, Jason said, 'Honey, let's pool our money, you handle inside, I handle outside, it's more efficient.' I closed my salary account and transferred the funds to our joint account. In the 3rd year, he claimed his company needed cash flow and asked to borrow the $300,000 my parents had given me. Hesitant, I agreed after he hugged me. 'We're one, yours is mine, mine is yours, I'll repay double once I earn more.' In the 4th year, he bought the house but put only his name on the mortgage, saying interest rates are lower this way, we're married anyway. Whose name matters?" In the 5th year, he frequently mentioned family trusts and asset separation, saying wealthy people do this to reduce taxes and risk. In the 6th year, I noticed a frequent contact named Lily in his phone. He said, "New assistant, very dedicated." I believed him, and now the 7th year, he's been transferring assets? I whispered. "Not all may be illegal," Anna said, "but you can request an in-marriage asset investigation. If he has hidden or transferred assets, the court may award you a larger share." She wrote a checklist. "Request full asset disclosure, your legal right. Collect all financial evidence you can find. Find his weak points, everyone has them." "What's his weak point?" Anna looked at me. "You know him best. Think carefully, what does he care about most recently?" I remembered a comment at the parent-teacher meeting. "Partnership election." I said, "His company's partner election starts next week." Anna smiled. "Perfect, during the election. He needs a clean image and a stable family. That's your first leverage." That evening, I messaged Jason. "Please provide a complete account of all assets from the 7 years of our marriage, including but not limited to bank deposits, real estate, stocks, funds, insurance, and overseas assets, according to Civil Code Article 1062. I have the right to know." 10 minutes later, the phone rang. Jason's voice was venomous. "Emily, you hired a lawyer?" "I'm studying the law," I said. "You think laws can help you?" He sneered. "I have a full legal team. You can't beat me." "Then let's see." Silence for a few seconds. "What do you want?" His tone softened slightly. "Money? I can add more. 8,000 no. 10,000 per month. Sign. Take the money. Disappear. I want justice." "Justice?" He laughed. "This world has no justice. Only strong and weak." "Emily, you're naive." "Then let me be naive once," I said. "I want to see the asset details within 3 days, otherwise, I'll file a court order for investigation." I hung up. My hands still trembled, but this time, not from fear, from anger. Cold, clear anger. Jason didn't reply. 3 days later, I went to the district court and submitted an asset investigation request. The clerk examined my documents. A unilateral request requires review, response in about 15 working days. 15 days. I could wait, but Jason couldn't. Partner elections start next week. I began my move. Step 1. Restore personal identity. I got a new phone SIM using my mother's ID, created a new email, Checked old bank accounts, even those closed. Sure enough, in the first year of marriage, 7 transfers from my account to Jason's totaled $460,000. He had claimed investment, and I hadn't kept records. Luckily, the bank had archives. Step 2. Check credit reports. The printed report was 20 pages. I scanned line by line and found 3 suspicious loans. August 2019, $500,000, purpose renovation. March 2021, $800,000, purpose car purchase. November 2022, $700,000, purpose family expenses. All 3 were joint marital loans. I didn't recall signing any contracts. Photographed the pages. The signature Emily looked similar, but the e-stroke was wrong. I always start with vertical then horizontal. This signature was horizontal then vertical. Forgery. Step 3. Ray enters social circles. On Saturday visitation, I took Ava to a playground, specifically the one Jason's partners often took their children to. Sure enough, I ran into Mrs. Davis, Emily. She greeted warmly. Long time no see. Taking a break lately? Yeah. Handling some family matters. I smiled. I heard Jason is running for partner, busy, right? Indeed. She lowered her voice. The office is tense. Candidates are digging up dirt on each other. That new assistant of his lately acting like the future partner's wife, causing gossip. Lily? You know her too? Mrs. Davis looked awkward. No one likes her, too flashy, but Jason defends her. Calls her the mother of his future child. Mother of his future child. Then what are Ava and I? Past tense. By the way, Mrs. Davis recalled, last week finance said Jason applied for a family emergency fund of $500,000, claiming his wife was seriously ill. Aren't you? Fine. I tensed. When did he apply? Last Wednesday. She looked at my face. Oops. Did I say too much? No. I smiled naturally. Thanks for letting me know. That night, in the tiny room, I organized everything on my new phone. Forged loan contracts, false serious illness fund misuse, Lily active as future partner's wife, potential scandal for Jason's election, asset transfer timeline coinciding with Lily's pregnancy. I scanned these documents, uploaded them to the cloud, secured with triple passwords, folder name, countdown to rebirth 90 days, then I made a plan. Phase 1, 30 days, collect evidence, uncover all Jason's assets and weak points. Phase 2, 30 days, contact media and regulators, prepare public counterattack. Phase 3, 30 days, launch legal action to secure maximum rights. I looked at photos of Ava. She was smiling so sweetly. Mommy will get you back. I will. Jason's counterattack came faster than my plan. 5 days after submitting the request, I received a court summons he had filed to change custody, demanding sole custody of Ava. His reasons: the mother has no stable income or property, unable to provide a stable environment, the mother is emotionally unstable. Neighbor testimony. Arguments and banging sounds were heard. Grandmother Margaret voluntarily offers full-time care support. The hearing was set for a week later. I called Anna. My hands shaking so much I misdialed 3 times. Don't panic, Anna said calmly. This is classic pressure. He wants to force you to give up claims, using the child as leverage. But it's true, I have no income, no house. Exactly why we counter evidence, Anna said. First, prove your economic contribution to the family, though invisible, is significant. Second, show that Jason's material environment may not be beneficial for the child's mental and physical health. Third, challenge Margaret's credibility. How do we prove it? Witnesses, evidence, loopholes. I started taking action. First, I contacted several moms in the neighborhood who knew me well. They testified. For 7 years, I did all the pickups, homework help, and organized parent-child activities. Jason often worked overtime, rarely participated in family matters. Second, I went to Ava's preschool. The teacher issued a certificate. Ava is sensitive, emotionally low recently, and often says she wants to be with her mother. During maternal pickups, her mood is noticeably more stable. Third, I found the neighbor witness, a woman in her 60s. She avoided eye contact. I had no choice. She said, wringing her hands, "Your mother-in-law said if I didn't testify, her son would fire my son. My son just got a promotion. I can't lose the job." I recorded the conversation. Piece by piece, evidence accumulated, but Jason's moves were faster. On visitation day, Lily accidentally spilled hot coffee on my hand. At the preschool entrance, Margaret publicly called me mentally unstable. Stay away. My rental info was leaked. Harassment calls at midnight. pressure mounted, the day before the hearing. I received a notice for psychological evaluation. Jason requested an assessment, claiming I may have depression or mania, unsuitable for direct custody. The evaluation was scheduled 3 days later. That night, I lay on the bed, staring at yellow stains from a leaking ceiling. Maybe I should compromise, sign the agreement, get $1,000 a month, see Ava 4 hours a week, at least maintain a basic mother-daughter connection. If I continued to fight, I might lose even that. I sat up, opened my laptop, and started drafting an email. Jason, we can negotiate. I can ask for less in assets, but custody must be joint. This is the bottom line. I paused. Ava's face flashed in my mind. She said, "Grandma said Mommy doesn't want me." Jason's sneer appeared. "You can't win." Lily's hand on her belly. The Hermes bag that had belonged to me. I deleted the draft. Opened the cloud folder. Changed the countdown from 90 days to now. Psychological Evaluation Center. The room was blindingly white. A female doctor in a white coat asked me to sit, with a stack of questionnaires in front of her. "Please answer honestly," she said. Questions came one after another. Do you often feel sad? Have you lost interest in things you once enjoyed? Have you thought about harming yourself or others? I wrote carefully, word by word. After the questionnaire came the interview. "I hear your husband filed for divorce. How do you feel now?" the doctor asked, reviewing my file. Clear-headed. Yes. I looked her in the eye. I used to live in lies. Now I'm awake. The awakening is painful, but at least I know where the pain lies. She took notes. An hour later, the evaluation ended. The report would be ready in 3 business days. I stepped out into the sunlight. My phone rang. It was an unknown number. Jason's lawyer. "Mrs. Wang, Mr. Jason Wang offers a new proposal. If you relinquish asset claims, he will agree to joint custody. This is the final offer. I need to see the evaluation results first." I said, "The report won't be favorable." The lawyer hinted, "Mr. Wang has already contacted the director of the center." I held the phone, fingers cold. "You even control this?" "Not control, just communication," the lawyer said. "Mrs. Wang, accept it. You can't win." The call ended. I stood on the street as cars rushed past. For a moment, I thought of stepping into the road, but Ava's face appeared again. She hugged my neck. "Mommy, you have to be happy." I inhaled deeply, opened my contacts. Found an old college friend, Chloe Chen. Now in media. "Chloe, it's Emily. I might need your help." 2 hours later, we met at a cafe. I told her everything, including the possible manipulation of the psychological evaluation. Chloe slammed the table in anger. "This is outrageous. It's not just a divorce dispute, it's systematic persecution." "I want to expose him," I said, "but not yet. I need the right timing." When? 3 days before the partner election. I said, "That's when he's most vulnerable." Chloe held my hand. "Emily, you've changed. You wouldn't have played this before, because before, I believed sincerity would be returned. Now I know, sincerity only meets scheming. I'll have to learn scheming too." That night, the electronic evaluation report arrived in my email. The conclusion: the subject exhibits moderate depression and paranoia. Direct custody of minor children is not recommended. At the end, the doctor's signature sprawled across the page. I screenshot it, saved it. Then I uploaded another file to an encrypted folder. Jason's evaluation from 3 years ago, when a project failure caused him anxiety, and I accompanied him to the same center. The report then stated, the subject shows clear narcissistic tendencies, lacks empathy, and may exhibit manipulative behavior in intimate relationships. Jason begged me to keep it secret at the time, but now, I would not. 1 week before the partner election, I formally submitted 4 requests to the court: full investigation of marital assets, criminal report for forged loan signatures, demand disclosure of all bank statements for the past 3 years, psychological evaluation of Jason based on the 3-year-old report. Simultaneously, I sent the prepared materials anonymously to the 3 most important partners in Jason's company, including his direct competitors. Strike at the snake's vulnerable spot. The 7th inch, Jason's vulnerable spot was his career. Sure enough, the next afternoon, I received his call. This time, no threats, no mockery, just suppressed rage. "Emily, we need to meet." "No need," I said. "All communication goes through lawyers. What do you want?" "Money? How much?" "Fair division of assets and joint custody." Joint custody is negotiable. Assets, also negotiable. His voice rushed. But you must withdraw the reports and anonymous materials. Do you know what they're saying about me in the company now? That I forged contracts, transferred assets, drove my wife crazy. That's true. No, it's not. He shouted. It's for the family. For our future. Your future with Lily. Not mine. Silence. Then he said a number. 3 million cash. Sign the divorce. Take the money. Joint custody of Ava. This is the final offer. 3 million less than a tenth of our marital assets. See you in court, I said. You'll regret this. He roared. I will make you regret it. I hung up. Palms sweaty, but heartbeat steady. When you have nothing, you fear nothing. 3 days later, the first property hearing. Jason arrived with his legal team, 3 sharply dressed lawyers. I had only Anna and myself. The judge skimmed through the documents. Jason's lawyer spoke first. Your Honor, my client is the sole financial provider. The other party has not worked for 7 years and contributed nothing materially. All assets are premarital or individually acquired. She has no claim. Anna stood up. Your Honor, I present 7 years of detailed family life records. This includes the defendant's frequent business trips, overtime, entertainment schedules, and my client's sole responsibility for childcare, housework, and elder care, according to Article 1088 of the Civil Code. Household labor has economic value and constitutes a contribution to the family. She handed over a thick photo album. Inside were 7 years of my phone photos. Ava's first steps, first day at school, nights I stayed up with her when sick, parent-teacher meetings I always attended alone. Surprise parties for Jason's birthdays, hospital visits for his parents. Each photo labeled with dates and events. The judge flipped through the pages. Jason's face grew increasingly sour. What does this prove? His lawyer retorted. It's just daily life records. It proves my client provided irreplaceable emotional and caregiving labor for 7 years. Anna's voice was clear. This allowed the defendant to focus on his career and earn 2 million annually. Without my client, could he have achieved this success? The courtroom was silent. Anna continued. Furthermore, we suspect marital asset transfers. We request 3 years of complete bank statements, especially large transfers. The judge looked at Jason. Do you agree? Jason's lawyer immediately said, no. This violates privacy. In divorce proceedings, both parties must disclose true assets. The judge rapped the gavel. Request approved. Submit within 3 days. Jason jumped up. I request a recess. Reason? I need time to prepare, he said. Face pale, half-hour recess. Court resumes in 30 minutes. Jason stormed out. Lily waited in the corridor, and they argued fiercely. I couldn't hear the words, but Lily's face was bright red, finger nearly poking Jason's nose. Anna whispered. They're fighting internally. 30 minutes later, the court resumed. Jason returned, softer. Your Honor, I agree to property division. Percentages can be negotiated, but I request custody, with the other party only visitation rights. Reason? No stable income or residence, and psychological evaluation shows instability. Anna raised her hand. Your Honor, we have evidence that the psychological evaluation may have been improperly influenced. She submitted a recording the conversation with the neighbor woman, which clearly indicated Jason's mother threatened me to give false testimony. Also submitted were screenshots of messages between Jason and the evaluation center director anonymously sent to my email. Content clear. Report modified per your request. Balance due promptly. The judge's expression darkened. Defendant, explain this. Jason's legal team was flustered. Finally, the judge ruled, freeze Jason's 5 million in assets, pending further investigation. Do not change custody. Ava remains temporarily with Jason. I retain weekly visitation. Jason must submit complete bank statements within 48 hours. As I left, Jason stormed toward me, eyes bloodshot. Emily, where did you get those messages? I looked at him, feeling a twinge of pity. Jason, you lost because of overconfidence, I said. You thought you controlled everything, including me, but you forgot when the rabbit is cornered, it bites. I will never forgive you, he growled. I turned and walked away. Down the hall, Lily cried. Margaret yelled. Sunlight streamed through the high courthouse windows, falling at my feet, like a golden path. Freezing Jason's assets panicked him. The partner election entered final voting. The news of frozen assets was devastating. He began to strike back frantically. Step 1, media smear campaign. An article titled 7 Years of Support. Accused of extortion. A man's confession circulated on local forums, written in Jason's voice. It painted me as greedy, psychologically twisted, attempting to blackmail my ex-husband. Comments flooded. This woman is scary. Leeching off men. She couldn't have a son. That's why divorced. Support Jason. Get rid of this troublemaker. Step 2. Sympathy drama. Lily hospitalized for prenatal care. Photos circulated with captions. Innocent pregnant woman harassed online. Fetal condition unstable. Jason posed outside, tearful. I care only about the child's safety. Step 3. Threats. I received an anonymous package. A torn cloth doll. A red X on its face, note attached. Next time. It's your daughter. I reported it to the police. They took a statement but said, the source is difficult to trace. Step 4. Financial blockade. Jason filed to suspend child support claiming malicious litigation. Denied, but delayed the process for half a month. During that time, I lived on 5,000 yuan Chloe lent me. The pressure peaked. I stood on the balcony of my tiny rental, staring at traffic. I almost jumped. Then my phone rang. Ava's teacher. Mom, Ava cried all morning, said she wanted you. Can you pick her up early? I wiped tears. Yes, I'm coming. I picked up Ava. She hugged me tightly, whispering. Mommy, Daddy argued with Lily. Lily threw things. Daddy scolded her. What did he say? He said, good for nothing. She mimicked perfectly. I held her close. Turns out their alliance wasn't solid. That night, I made a decision. I packaged all evidence: fake loan contracts, false sick claims, manipulated psychological assessments, asset transfer records. Jason's 3-year-old personality report, photos of Lily posing as prospective partner's wife in company events. Then I did 3 things: sent to Jason's company's regulatory body, sent to all partners and board members, sent to local influential media outlets. Email subject: formal report. Partner candidate Jason Wang suspected of fraud, forgery, asset transfer, and ethical violations. Sender: Emily Wang, mother of Ava. When I hit send, my hands didn't shake. Since you wanted to destroy me, I would first destroy what you value most. 72 hours later, Jason's company issued a statement. Partner candidate Jason Wang withdraws from election due to personal reasons. Under internal investigation. Meanwhile, my divorce case officially began. This was the final trial. The courtroom was packed: journalists, Jason's colleagues, curious citizens. Jason and his legal team sat at the defense table. He looked gaunt, hollow-eyed. Lily didn't appear, citing unstable fetal condition. Margaret came, seated front row. Glaring at me, the judge entered. The trial began. Anna presented the final evidence book, over 300 pages. Part 1. Evidence of Jason's marital asset transfers. Transfers of 3.4 million to Lily. Forged loan contracts. Handwriting verification confirms not mine. Misappropriation of 500,000 company reserve claiming wife seriously ill. Part 2. Evidence of mental oppression by Jason and family. Threat recordings. Neighbor recanting false testimony. Bribery-related messages at evaluation center. Part 3. Evidence Jason unfit for direct custody. 3-year-old personality evaluation. Teacher and neighbor witness testimony. Ava's own voice recording. I want to be with mommy. Jason's lawyers tried to rebut, but Anna countered every point with solid evidence. The trial lasted 6 hours. During closing, I stood, Your Honor, for 7 years I gave up my career, myself, to run the family. I thought it was love. Later realized to him it was no economic contribution. I can accept divorce. Feelings cannot be forced, but he cannot transfer assets, use the child to coerce me, and still expect me to leave gracefully. Grace is mutual. When denied, I must fight. Today I am here not for revenge, but to reclaim what I deserve. Fair property division and basic rights as a mother. I sat. The courtroom was silent. The judge called a 30-minute recess to deliberate. Those 30 minutes were the longest in my life. Jason's head down, Margaret crying, his lawyers whispering, serious. 30 minutes later, the judge returned. The verdict: 1. Property division. Marital property totaled 12.6 million yuans. Considering Jason's asset transfers and contract forgery, the wife receives 65%, i.e., 8.19 million. Jason must return 3.4 million transferred to Lily. Counted as marital property, Jason must pay 500,000 yuans for mental distress. 2. Child custody. Ava under mother's direct custody. Jason pays 20,000 yuan or month until Ava turns 18. Jason has visitation Saturdays 9:00 with 24-hour notice. 3. Jason's fault. Multiple misconducts. Evidence forwarded to police and regulatory authorities. Gavel struck. Margaret screamed unfair. Court officers removed her. Jason slumped, eyes hollow. I approached. He lifted his head, lips trembling. Emily. For 7 years. 7 years? I whispered. From the moment you announced divorce at breakfast, there was no 7 years for us. I was wrong. I truly know. Give us another chance, for Ava. He grabbed my sleeve. I pulled away. Ava will have a complete life, I said, but not with you. I turned and left. Reporters swarmed. Mrs. Wang. How do you feel? Will you forgive your ex-husband? How will you use the assets? I stopped for the cameras. Justice, though delayed, is served. No forgiveness. Some wounds aren't worth forgiving. The assets will provide a stable future for me and my daughter. Sunlight shone as I left the courthouse. Chloe waited with a bouquet of sunflowers. Congratulations on rebirth, she said. I breathed in deeply, taking the flowers. The air was free. The day after the verdict, Ava ran into my arms at the courthouse. Mommy, we won, she shouted, laughing. I lifted her high. She was still small, but her joy felt larger than the entire city. We walked out together. The city seemed softer somehow, sunlight warm, wind gentle. Back at the apartment, I unpacked the first box of our new life, clothes neatly folded, books lined up on shelves, toys scattered but cheerful. Ava placed her favorite stuffed rabbit on the bed. Mommy, it's our guardian now, she said. I smiled. Yes, guardian of our happiness. We cooked together for the first time in years. She stirred the pot clumsily, spilling some sauce, and laughed. I laughed too. The sound was free. No tension, no fear, only peace. The assets from the court were transferred gradually. I didn't buy a mansion or luxury car. Instead, I rented a small house with a sunny garden and big windows. Ava had her own room, painted sky blue, decorated with drawings and stickers. We adopted 2 cats, whom Ava named Pumpkin and Coco. Every morning, sunlight poured in, and the cats would stretch lazily. Ava and I sat at the table, eating breakfast, planning our day. For the first time in years, I felt in control of my own life. I enrolled in a part-time online course I had postponed for so long. Every evening, after Ava fell asleep, I opened the laptop. The first lesson was Introduction to Digital Design. My fingers danced across the keyboard, creating shapes and colors. I realized something important. Freedom wasn't just about leaving Jason behind. It was about reclaiming my potential, my dreams, my sense of self. Ava sometimes peeked from her doorway. Mommy, are you still learning? Yes, I said, smiling. Learning is forever, she nodded. Then ran back to her room with her rabbit in hand. Neighbors began noticing me with Ava. Some waved, some smiled. One elderly lady brought homemade dumplings. Welcome back to life, she said. I realized that for years, I had been invisible. Not anymore. Life didn't feel like a cage anymore. Months passed. Jason tried to contact Ava through messages, but I filtered and controlled everything carefully. He appeared once in person for visitation, looking weaker and more fragile than I remembered. Ava hugged him politely, said bye, and returned to me without hesitation. I felt no hatred, only relief. Freedom doesn't require revenge. It only requires boundaries. One spring afternoon, Ava and I planted flowers in the garden. Sunflowers, tulips, daisies. Ava dug tiny holes with a plastic spade, dirt on her hands, sun on her face. Mommy, will these flowers grow tall? She asked. Yes, I said, because we take care of them. Just like our lives. She smiled, and I smiled back, for the first time. I felt the weight lift entirely. The past, with all its pain and betrayal, had shaped us, but it no longer controlled us. That night, I tucked Ava into bed. Mommy, she whispered, will we always be happy? I kissed her forehead. Yes, my love, we've earned it. Together. Always. She closed her eyes, breathing softly. I sat by her side, looking out the window. City lights shimmered like stars brought down to earth. I thought of Jason, Lily, and the battles behind us, and then I thought of us, a mother and daughter, free, safe, loved. For the first time in years, I believed in a future that belonged entirely to me, a future I would write myself, and with that, I finally slept, knowing we had truly begun again.